What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, back with another movie recommendation. Today, we're going to take a look at a film from 1982, directed by David Winters. It's starring Joe Spinell. No, it is not Maniac. We're talking about the last horror film, also known as The Fanatic, or just Fanatic. But this is a movie I never even really heard about. I might have been told about it by Danny B like a while ago, like during one of our fucking many conversations about Joe Spinell, but I don't know what possessed me, but me and Kayla were just watching. We watched fucking Big Fat Greek Wedding. I'd never seen it, and it's one of her favorites, so we watched it. Not bad fucking film. But after we watched that, I was on some streaming site. I don't know what it was called, but I just typed in horror. And then all of a sudden, I see this movie come up, the last horror film. And I seen it was from 1982, starring Joe Spinell. I was like, dude, we got to check this shit out. So checked it out, and man, I loved the last horror film. Okay, so basically it's kind of a mashup or a mashup between Taxi Driver, Maniac, a little bit of, at one point me and Kayla said, what is this, Scarface, all of a sudden, because there was like this conversation happened in a bar that was like lit in the same kind of way as Scarface. But Death Wish, Taxi Driver, Maniac, that is what this movie is a fucking product of, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun with it. Obviously, there is spoilers ahead, so if you've never seen it, I'm going to be giving away key plot points to this film. And yes, there is a twist. Okay, it's not like a super monumental twist, but it is a twist nonetheless, and definitely dictates how the film ends. And I want to talk about the film's ending at the end of this video, because there's like a quick little 30-second moment at the end of the film that I just thought was hilariously awesome way to end this flick. But for those of you that have seen the film, I'm sure you know the story. It's basically about Joe Spinell plays this guy named Vinny who wants to be a filmmaker, and he lives with his mother, overbearing mother, of course, and she's always nagging at him, and the whole 9 yards. It sort of does feel like Maniac, like an extension of Maniac. So with that flavor in mind, he leaves New York to go to France, I believe, to go to the Cannes Film Festival, and it was actually filmed on location of the Cannes Film Festival, complete with like news reports of the time. The guy that shot Reagan because he watched Taxi Driver and was trying to impress Jodie Foster. We all know that story. The story of the guy that shot the Pope, and different things like that. So that was cool. It really put you in like the whole, put you in that mood, that era, that time frame. So even when we were watching, I looked at Kayla and I was like, fuck, that shit's all true, I think. She's like, yeah, I think so too. So really cool to ground it in reality. Once he's over there, he's got this obsession with this actress. I believe her name was Jana something, but he has this obsession with her. He's telling everyone that she's going to be in his movie. And once he gets over there, these murders start happening to people connected to this chick, and everyone that's been murdered gets like this little card saying, this is your last horror film or last film you're going to be in, kind of thing. And of course, all those people end up getting killed. One of the first murders that you see in this film, I think, is like probably the best scene in the film in terms of like goriness or special effects. There's a scene where this guy is basically, he's killed, and then this woman discovers his body, and she sees it his neck's throat, and then his fucking head rolls off, and it's really cool, really graphic. As soon as I seen that, I was like, okay, this is cool. It was like on the same level of like Pieces gore, because Pieces is a really gory film. I think a lot of people forget that movie's like very brutal. Pieces is one of those movies, like I've said before, I didn't discover till later on in my film education, but I'm glad that I checked that film. That's one of my favorite movies, and I'm proud to say, and I will always bring up the fact that our film Spiral Scratch played in between Evil Dead and Pieces at my local drive-in theater, which was like monumental for me, man. It was the only time that my shit ever screened at a legit cinema. So that I was actually at, I should say. So that's cool. But anyways, going back to the last horror film, there's this really cool scene where Joe Spinell is like going to he's just going to watch movies at the festival, and there's a part where he's watching this flick, where this old lady fucking attacks a guy. And one thing I love about this movie, there's a lot of like like you know how in Demons there's that movie they're watching, it's like a movie made for the film. There's a bunch of those in this, and they're all fucking crazy. But the best one is this old lady who fucking rips this guy's eyeball out and then like fucking stabs him a bunch of times, rips out his heart, and then eats his fucking heart. And Joe Spinell's in the theater, he's sweating, he can't take it, he leaves, and then he runs into the director of the film, and he basically scalds him. He's like, "What are you, out of your fucking mind?" And I love that scene. I love that moment. But one thing about this flick that is really unique, like, and I don't know why, but the only other movie I can really think of off the top of my head is Kill Bill, and and that other fucking movie, what was it called? Billy Madison with Adam Sandler. But there's these characters that have these lists of people they want to kill. In Kill Bill, she just has it like blatantly like a list, and in Billy Madison, it's just like a gag scene where the one guy has like a list of people he wants to kill. But in this movie, it's done in a cool way where there's our killer is POV taping everything, and he's got like footage, like film strips of all the people he wants to kill, and it's like a close-up of the film strip and him like putting a circle or like an X through the person's face, and that's how you know who he's about to kill or who he's just killed. I thought that was really cool and fun and unique. Yeah, really badass stuff. But again, you're mostly here for Spinell, and he has a lot of like his crazy maniac-esque moments where he is freaking out, this and that. He can't really be around chicks, it would seem. That's the thing, like Joe Spinell, like he's been in a lot of really, really good films. Like this is another one just off the top of my head, but like, he was in Maniac, which of course I talked about. I love, he was in Godfather Part 2, Godfather 1, but Godfather Part 2, he had a bigger role. I forget what his name was. I think it might have been Chi-Chi, but really badass actor, passed away way too soon. There was like a sequel to Maniac set up, I believe called Mr. Ruby or Miss Ruby, and it was going to be directed by the dude that directed Street Trash, I believe. I'm pretty sure Trash Dash told me about this. Shout out to Trash Dash, of course. But I believe that they made like a short film of it, but it's not, you can't see in its entirety. They didn't film it in its entirety because they didn't get around to making it, but would have been cool. Shout out to Ebon Press that makes these great comics. Lucio Fulci comics, the New York Ripper, Zombie, Gates of Hell, The Beyond, House by the Cemetery. They've done Maniac comics. They've done their own standalone stuff. I believe the one book that they did was called Bottom Feeder, and it was like a detective story, and it was starring or the main character was done up in the honor or in the appearance of, oh man, I'm totally gonna blank on his name, but the guy that was Captain Rhodes in Day of the Dead, what the hell is his name? Joe Piscopo? Not Joe Piscopo. Either way, love that guy, and I just love this type of stuff. I've been watching a lot of movies lately and just been having a blast. Reuniting with one of my true passions, which is horror cinema. And not just horror cinema, like I watched Dog Day Afternoon the other day, and it's been so goddamn long. I love that movie. It's fantastic. So it's not just horror shit. It's all kinds of stuff. I even watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back the other day, and I love. One of my favorite scenes is when they run into Tracy Morgan and this other guy, and he's like, "You want some crack? Get you high?" And he like goes like that, like with his hands. I just always thought that was out of control. But anyways, last horror movie, also known as Fanatic. 1982, man. Like, you can't ask for much more. You're getting Taxi Driver, you're getting Death Wish, you're getting fucking Maniac, you're getting a little dose here and there of just, I don't know, it's crazy to see like movies like this, and then because there's elements in this movie that like there wouldn't be movies like Henry Portrait of the Serial Killer if it wasn't for movies like this, or a lot of those giallo flicks, shit, like a lot of the POV stuff I feel owes a lot to stuff of the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you agree. If you don't, then fuck you. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments. With that being said, oh fuck, I totally forgot. I gotta mention my favorite part of the last little bit of the movie. Total spoiler alert. There's a scene where Joe Spinell is showing his film to his mother, who he's been nagging about the whole. He'll call her up and she'll be like, "Are you really making a movie?" And he'll be like sweating and freaking out and be like, "Yeah, ma," losing his mind. And then at the end of the film, he's showing her the movie, and he's trying to talk to her about the film, and she's like, listen, son, you got that joint? And then he just lights up a joint and passes it to the old lady, and it freeze frames, and that's the end of the film. I thought it was awesome. Good movie, man. Glad to finally have checked that out. And there's still quite a few Joe Spinell films I've not watched, so those will be definitely on, the radar for me, at least for the next little while. Check out a few more of his movies. I'm excited to check out the rest of Fred Vogel's films from Toe Tag Pictures, Red Sin Tower, The Final Interview, I believe it's called. There's quite a few. I think there's still 5 movies of his that I need to check out, so I'll be getting on those soon enough. But again, thanks for watching, and adios. 666.